Hello everybody, Jet here, and welcome back to my Beastman Let's Play. So, we've just had a nice couple of big fights here and taken out a couple of armies, and we are going to go back into stealth mode shortly, but I've got a little bit of levelling up to do. Let's make sure I do this right. Okay, we're going to buff up, his leadership, because that's pretty much all we've got left. One of our mages. Got most of the things. Let's see what we can actually get from down here. Definitely don't need this. Okay, we're actually good here, so I'm going to start taking some of the buffs, like this one, just to make him a bit tougher in melee combat. Giving him a many-limbed friend. Oh, no, wrong place. Right, straight down the growth tree here. And let's just check, can I actually recruit Kazrak yet? That's a bit late to be recruiting another legendary lord now, unfortunately. Straight into Arcane Conduit. Right, we're going to keep doing this because extra leadership is always very useful in Beastmen armies. Though my guys do naturally have quite high leadership now, so they're not as good, so they don't break anywhere near as much as they used to, guys. Okay, while we wait for the other people's turns and see who comes towards us, just so you are aware, guys, obviously once I finish up a campaign, I do have a lot of, I've got 3 campaigns on at the moment, so I'm not promising them this anytime soon. So when I do start my next campaign, though, I'm letting you guys choose what it is. So if you've got a suggestion, feel free to throw it in the comments. I've already had a couple for different orc factions, one for Skaven and one for Bretonia. So obviously they're the options at the moment. Obviously it's looking more orcs because I've had a couple of orc requests, but the more requests I get, the more the more options we'll have, and then we'll work out where we're going from there. I'm not particularly good at playing orcs, so I will need support if we do that, though I'm fairly sure I can pick it up. Okay, so there goes Skaven pushing about. Okay, and the other dwarf faction. I do think the Skaven are beginning to suffer a little, which isn't so good, but it's to be expected to be happening at some point because they're not the strongest of factions. They're nowhere near as big as the dwarves. The fact that dwarves are attacking them is why I've lost some of my trail, actually, so that's been a good thing, though I would like to try and keep the Skaven in the game because they're good for picking up the settlements behind me, though they will obviously be destroyed settlements, so it's not necessarily going to be the most useful thing for them, but I think the dwarves, from the looks of it, the humans are suffering massively, so I think the dwarves are our biggest threat at the moment. Let us... we can't quite get there if we raid. Trying to work out where I want to go. So we want to push down to here, actually, though we also want to go to here. Let's start heading this way. You can break out of this stance. You can level up next time we are ready. And we're getting everybody over here. And as we work our way back up, we will be doing a lot more ambushing. We're going to hit Karakazul, and then we're going to work our way down and through, clearing everything out to here. Karak Azul, and then we'll head to Karak Azgal, just to confuse me with their very similar sounding names. And then we'll start burning our way back up through the dwarf territory. And the reason we're going to the bottom and working our way up, because it makes it harder for them to get behind us, gives the Skaven more opportunity to cap after us as well, and means that if any dwarf armies do come down, I've got a better chance of intercepting them so they don't get behind me and start recolonising. Because that's the big thing here, is stopping the dwarfs managing to recolonise behind me, because every time they recolonize, obviously that's going to make it that much harder. I'm going to have to go back, and I could potentially end up chasing them around for ages, so I want to be very careful of that. Because I don't want to just end up playing an endless game of chase the dwarf armies, because at some point they will muster armies to catch me. Right now, if they wanted to, they could muster enough forces to kill me, so I do still need to play carefully. But I say that, they're not killing me, and it's an AI. If it was playing against a player, they would probably smash me fairly quickly, because they'd just or they'd herd me out of their territory. Which is what quite regularly happens, what I quite regularly do to Beastmen factions. Rather than actually engaging them, I just kind of send an army to herd them out of my territory. To shepherd them out of my territory, so they don't really have time to stop and raid. Right, so we're pushing through everything. Okay. I want to hit with a little horde because I don't actually think this is a particularly big place, unfortunately. I'm probably not going to use that, but you know. And you can switch as well. And now it becomes an easy auto. It's still 37k, and I did lose a unit there, so. I do kind of hate that when it shows it as being a really easy auto, but you manage to lose some units. Okay, we are getting there, however. Let's get a low level gore for you. Do a little bit of merging. Okay, and a couple of level ups to do. Ooh, we get. So we're going to start pushing down this one. Then we'll go for slug skin to get the extra armor. That's good. And end turn. Now we're going to push to and you see, this is the thing they keep doing. They will recap behind me every time at the moment, which is the really annoying thing, and it's what's getting quite tricky to deal with at the moment. And I'm worried that it's going to really stop me being able to do a huge amount of damage to the dwarves. However, I'm going to push back. I'm going to keep running. I'm going to push back, and I'm going to retake Queeq's neck as soon as I can now. So I can demolish that army and not give them the chance to keep pushing me back like this. Because the fact they keep pushing me back like this is causing me humongous issues, actually. Because I've cut a swathe through their lands, but I feel that they've not really taken a huge amount of damage because of it, which is infuriating, as I'm sure you can imagine, guys. So we've got those guys of agents over there. They know they're in trouble now because I'm right on them, though that possibly means they are going to end up allying with the normal dwarf faction. But I probably have weakened the normal dwarves, the straight dwarf faction, these guys here, rather than a Queeq, because I have cut a swathe through them, but they do still have quite big armies floating around, so I do want to be careful of that, because they're a little bit tougher than my Beastmen. You know, a good solid dwarf army. I mean, an army of dwarf ironbreakers in a line with Querulus behind it can break the world on it. Okay, we've gained another Brayherd, so that's going to be good for this little attack. No, I thought oops. Oh well, never mind. I thought I'd put you on Beast Path. And let's watch him run away next turn. Let's watch that dwarf army run away. So they've just recapped Carrick 8 Peaks, but it is a ruin at the moment, so it has no garrison. So actually that army, if it doesn't run away, I thought that was going to happen, that army would have been quite vulnerable. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit there with one of my small hordes next turn, and then we're going to go back into sneaky mode to try and pull them in close to us. So we'll leave it so it only looks like there's one army there next turn, and then we'll try and pull them in so we can get a couple of good ambushes off. And then it's working out where to go next, guys, and that's basically the biggest thing at the moment, is working out where to go. But the key thing I need to do at the moment is start taking out armies. That I could probably do with splitting my horde a bit, but that's also risky with how strong the dwarfs are. And I definitely can't afford to have more hordes. Ooh, but you see, even these guys, Avaland, are following me around now, even though I'm nowhere near their territory anymore. So I do need to just maintain that. I can't get away with being a little risky, but not too risky, because if I go too hectic, they will just crush me, and I'm worried they're going to muster too many armies and I'm going to get caught in these mountains somewhere. No, I'm definitely not paying you to have a non-aggression pact, mate. Okay. A lot of rogue armies about at the moment, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Let's take the casualty replenishment. Yeah, these guys can do it. This one is going to be a... How is that? How has they got people already? Now it's a nice easy takedown. Pushing them out some growth. Malagor can come round. You can have a Razorgore chariot. Keep buffing up our spells. And then turn. So they can still see a few things here, but they can only see a couple of things. So if I put them all into encampment stance, they won't actually be able to see any of my armies. However, they might even be within range there, so I might be able to push around to Vallea's Sorrow and catch that army there, which would be good if I can. If I can't, you know, I might just play it. It's tricky at the moment. It's tricky working out what to do and where's the best places for me to go. I do have the ambush stance though when attacking people, which is also quite useful, but I can't guarantee that goes off. It's just a chance to ambush. It's Queeq here. You can actually get a 100% chance to ambush when you're attacking, which is phenomenal actually, because Skaven are very good as an ambush force, because they're fast movers and they can just surround, and they're such big armies, they can just surround everything very quickly. I'm a bit surprised that the Lizardmen aren't giving the Skaven more of a problem. Oop, that Skaven army's getting shredded. And here come all the agents. as I said, I don't think these Skaven are going to last long now, unfortunately, which is annoying because they were a good buffer. Right, so it's nearly back to our go. My warhood has been revealed, so there's no point in staying here. But we can go siege here. Now, this is a tricky siege because they've got a big army here, but actually I say that, even without that I'm not doing too badly. But let's encircle. So even without my other guys, I'm not doing terribly there. And he can't move because of... I know, he can still beast path out. Odd. And now... And that's got a big dwarven army off our hands. I hope that was one of my baby hordes. Yes. No. Damn. And they're the sort of hits I want to be doing at the moment. Because that gives me a lot more freedom to move now. Taking out those armies is actually really helpful to me. Okay, end turn. Because every time I take out one of those armies, that's one less army nearby. That's one less army to keep recapping behind me. So we're going to keep burning through their territory again now. We might spread out a little bit because we can always beast path to get together if they start getting too close. Because I know there are still a couple of big armies around here, though these armies are suffering, so I don't need to worry too much about them. I'm kind of hoping the Skaven will come and cap here behind me, because that means the dwarves will also be paying attention to the Skaven a little bit more. And certainly if I can clear out all of this area and the Skaven take it behind me, that'll help them get bigger and it'll also give me somewhere to fall back to if I need to, because I'll just be able to retreat into the Skaven territory. Well done, Mr. Queeq. And he has capped that place behind me, which is what I wanted. And he will probably go and cap Queeq 8 peaks next turn, which is very good for me, because it means that if dwarfs come back this way, they'll have to clear through these places first, which won't take them long, admittedly. But it also is going to mean Queeq will get bigger, especially I think... I don't know if it's one of the objectives for them, but I know, lore-wise, I believe Queeq quite wants Queeq 8 peaks. So I'm giving them lots of nice places around us to push into as they expand. So I clear it, they can take it. So that's going to potentially work very well for us. I think next time I play Beastmen, maybe I'll go to be a little bit more aggressive with dwarfs. Okay, that's another nice chunk of cash. Okay. Okay, we are splitting the hordes a little bit now. Not too much, I want them always to be within reasonable range of each other. So what we'll do is we'll start burning down in two things. I'll probably need them to bring them all back down for a Queeq Asgal as well, but we'll see how we do. And also keeping them close together means that if somebody does manage to get reasonably close to me, I can always spread back out if needs be, basically. Oh, sorry, I can always come back together if needs be. Okay, so this is going better now. We are actually causing more damage. And splitting the hordes like this does also mean I can start hitting twice as many places, guys. So, but as I said, the other key thing at the moment is keeping my income back. And you see, this is the issue. The dwarfs coming in behind me. And there's another big dwarf army down here. So I might actually send it... I don't want to waste hordes, but if they retake that place, I can always push back at it. Okay, so Bretonia are still flourishing as we can see over here, but that's a so Bretonia have all vassalized as well. So Bretonia are probably more powerful than the Empire at the moment. They're not on my kill list, I don't believe, so I'm not so upset about them. Oh wow, and the Lizardmen are coming out in force against the Skaven, so I do think the Skaven are now massively in trouble, actually. So yeah, potentially I might not lose my Skaven buffer I was hoping to... I might lose my Skaven buffer I was hoping to keep. But much as I say this, they do seem to keep managing to stay alive every time they get knocked back a bit, they come back. Nope, it's still not happening, though I would take a Confederation. Because this, I believe, gives me a upkeep reduction for a while. And means I can potentially use your hordes a little bit psychotically over there. Just to try and burn a few things, or just to keep raiding to pay for themselves. And take a little bit of an edge off my guys. But yeah, I get minus 20 upkeep for all units, which is quite useful. And we have another horde somewhere over here. Where is the other horde? Oh, here! Let's hit somewhere which isn't a capital. Like here! Lavrinkia Hills. Oh, what? Whoops, I didn't mean to hit run away. So I'm going to burn this. Yeah, this guy is just going to go on a rampage. I'm not so worried if I lose him, but certainly going to be using him to try and cause a lot of distraction if I can, and pulling some of their forces back. Right. You guys can push on. In fact, no, I don't want you taking it. I want you taking it. Oh, we have another who won't possibly join me. So I want the growth out of you. Right. You two are going to go and play possum by these guys. Right, I've got what I want. I'm not so fussed about lightning strike for you. So we're going to start pushing down these trees more and more and more to really buff up my armies. Okay, let's end turn. So I am now forming a protective guard for the Skaven, but these two armies here are going to go into encampment stance, so they won't be visible. But that may well mean that the dwarfs will still attack, which I'm going to decline that fight because I would lose, apparently. This is quite a nice army. So they've pulled away from here now. I think they've pulled behind, which, again, that might be really good. We'll see where they've gone, because if I've got that chance to attack, I'm stuck in a really annoying view now, so I can't quite see where they've gone. But I might, if they've pushed behind me, I might well be able to catch them somewhere, so we'll have to see exactly where they are. Now, these guys are probably quite powerful because they've probably got all this territory here. They're not as powerful as the dwarfs, but they are a very tough faction. So it's a bit of a shame I can't get them to go to war with each other. That's good, Mr. Queeq. Keep spreading. I'm quite happy with Queeq to keep spreading like that, because that means he's going to be growing, and that's giving me a very nice buffer there. So my guys will start pulling back down again next turn towards Crooked Fang Fort, and these guys will start pushing through the mountains the other way, as I mentioned. So we're going to keep this clearing down, and try and get rid of this big, nice section of the... Nope, I'm certainly not going to take your... I'm certainly not going to give you money to join a war with somebody who's nowhere near us. Now, I'm fairly sure you all saw the dwarf army which appeared up here, so this army is going to go the other way, up here, but I'm not fussed if that little army gets itself killed, if I'm honest. I fully expect it to get itself shredded relatively quickly. These guys are going to jump over to here. You guys can jump back down to here. You guys can start pushing up into here. I want to try and burn through the Empire lands, because I want to see what's going on up here. Though last time we went that way, we did take quite a hit from the nasty vampire. So we'll have to see what happens. Okay, so the Empire are still doing their thing. We've got the dwarfs who are probably going to reappear here now, but we'll see. If I have to keep doing a little bit of back and forth, I'm more than happy to do that. So these guys are seeing me off, but that's good. I thought they would reappear. Queeq's got a big army there, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's a good army. If I have to keep bouncing up to try and protect them, I'm not that fussed. So long as my other army is still clearing through over here, actually, that's not something I'm bothered about at all, because that's not, I'm actually gaining things. Marathi has declared war on me. Why? Other than, do they hold parts of Ulfwad? Wow. I'm a little confused as to why Marathi has declared war on me, because it's not exactly like I'm a threat to her at all. A bit surprised she even has contact with me, if I'm honest. Okay, we're going to push back up to help the Skaven there, and then we will just play possum next to that place to try and get some nice ambushes off. No, not happening. I think he's struggling. I think he's got a lot of people around him who don't particularly like him, and I think he realises he's not long for this world the second somebody stops being too busy dealing with others. Okay. Sorry, I just had to... You got no sound for a second there. I just had to kill something to stop me getting those pings. Once again, Baby Horde can do this. Nice, another nice easy kill. Another nice big chunk of growth for him. And we do have an army down here, so we'll have to be a little careful. But I'm not that fussed by it. I'm not that worried. Yep. Let's charge through here and hit here. These guys, as I said, these guys' job is just to be aggressive and get themselves destroyed. I'm completely unfussed if they get themselves killed, because they're so far away from my main hordes. If they can just cause a little bit of distraction and pull a few forces away from me, that's all I really care about. Okay, so that's good. So my guys here, I'm actually going to just pop these guys into encampment stance for now, in the hope that Queeq is going to go and start capping over here. I really want Queeq to start going and capping over here. My other two armies are going to clear the way around. We might even need to send one of these guys off, but for the moment we'll try and not do that unless we absolutely have to. Okay. How long do I get that Confederation bonus for? So the Skaven are managing to push back now, potentially with a little bit of my help from taking the pressure off them and giving some new territories. But, you know, that's not a bad thing. I want them. They are my allies. They're one of my few allies, so keeping them growing is good for me. That's a lot of mortars. That's an annoyingly large amount of mortars. That's a really weird army setup. It probably works quite well, depressingly. Okay. So this one might take a little bit more planning, but yeah, I might want to build up a little bit. But we do have a Bray herd with us as well, so that's not a terrible. Why? Why can't I use encampment stance? We'll try again next turn then, I guess. You can start raiding up this way. So one more turn we get that bonus for. Why couldn't they go into... I'm a bit confused as to why these two guys couldn't go into encampment stance, having moved up there last turn. And why do I have this stuck on my screen now? That is a little annoying. Okay guys, anyway, at the end of this turn we will be ending this session. So, sorry we've not had a nice big battle for you as of yet, guys. Though I dare say we will be getting some good battles sometime soon. Because we are going to have to start having some big battles at some point with the dwarfs. Though at the moment, my best option is to try and get intercepts off. Run away! Age-old tactic of run away! And that army's gone. I'm really not fussed. Like I said, I don't actually care about that horde. Okay. In fact, losing them this turn before I get rid of that debuff is probably a good thing. Nope. Nope. They're demanding money to have a defensive alliance with me when I could just smash them with a flick of my finger if I decided to go their way, if I want to charge their way. But at the moment my beef is with the dwarves. Right, I am saving now, guys, because this is the end of this session. I've been on for over 30 minutes now, actually. No! How? Oh, him. Sorry, I thought it was somebody else. And hopefully we'll be able to get rid of this annoying little thing then. Anyway, guys, so thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you've been enjoying it.